here. Perfect. Is there any place you'd want to start off with, or should I just start diving into the numbers?
Just go ahead.
Okay, cool. Let me share my screen.
Okay, I don't have the ability to see your screen, so please do some narrative in there.
Okay, will do. What I'm going to do is take a look. We have it chunked down. I'll send this to you. We have it chunked down month by month. And then we'll also have a total section as well. So taking a look, and we'll start in the month of January, because last time we touched base was in January. I believe end of January, beginning of February. That in January, we spent about $377, and we got almost 1,600 clicks. So it's about 24 cents per click. Collectively, what we saw is Carney got about 48 leads. And what we qualify as a lead is they get on the Birding Trifecta website and they click on one of the call out buttons that will take people to either to Carney, Harlan, or McCook. So Carney, we saw 48 leads go in January. Harlan, we saw 87 leads, and McCook, we saw 250 leads. McCook overall, with prairie chickens, ended up getting, roughly speaking, between 2 to 3 times as many leads as anybody else, which kind of worked out well on their side of it, the prairie chicken. Obviously, we're pushing all birds on that front. In the month of February, when we made the last big push on this, is we got about 6,200 people to visit your website. Out of those 6,200 people, 183 left to check out Carney, 372 left to check out Harlan, and 724 left to check out McCook. So collective total for the month of February, as you saw about 1,300 people that came under your site and left to go visit more or to get more information about one of the communities overall. What we're able to see in order to get somebody to take that next step is it cost about $1.06 in February to get people to go land on the site and then go to one of the partner sites. So about $1.06 per lead, which overall worked out fairly well cost-wise. What we ended up taking a look at for total spend for the entire campaign was $2,642. The budget originally was $2,637, so we overspent it by $5. That comes out on our side of it. There's no additional charge on your guys' side of it. That comes out of basically our management fee. We got over 600,000 impressions during the campaign. We had almost 9,000 people visit your website during the 3 months or the 4 months we really ran the traffic. Collectively, we saw the cost per click at 29 cents. So total for number of leads that were sent. And one thing to keep in mind is the leads weren't tracking correctly in the month of November when we first ran it. So this is mainly December through January for lead total. Is Carney collected 304 leads, Harlan 608 leads, and then McCook 1,238 leads. So total leads during the campaign was 2,150. And really how that broke down, cost per lead wise to get people to take that next step to visit one of the partner sites, ended up being $1.23 per lead on that front. Which again, we were pretty happy when it came to the cost per click to get people in. We were pretty happy on the amount of people that then took the next step that we wanted them to. Overall, about 20% of your traffic took the next step we wanted them to take, which is a pretty high percentage. And again, the next step is visiting one of the partner sites. So overall on the campaign, it seemed like we were able to see a lot of leads sent off to the different partner sites. I know we've had some conversations, either in person or via email, about some of the bookings and experiences that you guys have seen on your side. But again, I'm just kind of curious on what else that you've experienced. I don't know if you want to kind of dive into that, but again, I'm always curious on what you saw for bookings, for travelers, for people coming through, and really what that kind of looked like at the end of the day.
I guess I kind of talked to you about it a couple weeks ago on our end for cranes, but with our crane kind of packet we send out, the Trifecta brochure goes with that. And
cool.
January through today of this year, we've had 800 online requests.
Nice.
That doesn't include like the people calling in and asking for it or anything like that. That's just online. And then just last year that we sent out from January through March of 2017 was only 97.
Wow.
So,
wow.
8x.
I mean, obviously we can't track how many people are actually looking at it when they get it. but the trifecta brochure does go with the crane packet we send out. So
awesome. I like that because that's if somebody's requesting something physical with their mailing address, because obviously that's a bit more of a commitment than simply just downloading like a PDF type of thing.
Right.
So I like that. Awesome.
So my numbers are considerably smaller, not unexpectedly, for the Pelicans. And I've been asking people, though, when they call by phone or when they email, how did they find out about us? My numbers are small enough to do that. And nobody has specifically mentioned the Trifecta site, so I can't say. I mean, it could have been a lot. It could have been, I don't know. A lot of people have mentioned that they found it out from the Nebraska travel magazine, things like that, or just word of mouth. But I can't say, this many came from seeing the Trifecta site, unfortunately.
And correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, in the Kearney area, there's a lot of like Rose Sanctuary where you can have bookings and stuff like that to kind of track it as well. Is there anything on your guys' side of it that you can really kind of track just overall traffic? People stopping by to check it out.
As far as physically, no. I mean, we have we can get information from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for the number of people who came into campsites and things like that, but we can't. I don't think they give those to us they can give those to us in the winter. They have those little counter things out, but unfortunately that we can't get those numbers right now. Physically, it's really, really hard for us to track anything because nobody has to pay for anything. And but I go around to all of our various lake-related businesses, and I talk to them. And when I give out the brochures, which we have those Trifecta brochures all around the lake now, things like that, they do say they see a lot of people come in with out-of-town plates and out-of-state plates, and they're driving around and then they park and watch the birds. So obviously they're coming to watch the birds, even though we don't have that many of them again this year. The birding tourism does continue gradually to pick up, so that's the best we can say.
Okay. Gotcha. I was just trying to think if there's anything deeper we can kind of go on that side of it, and I guess a lot of it just kind of comes down to gut to a certain extent if we don't have any type of hard numbers that to help back that up. There are, actually, I'm going to open up another screen because I just kind of thought about this when you were talking about the out-of-state plates coming in. I want to be able to kind of pull up just some ideas for numbers when it comes to traffic outside of Nebraska. One second here. All right. It looks like we had people come to your site from 49 out of the 50 states. Texas really led the way. Texas had about 2,800 people that came to your site. Illinois had about 1,100. Michigan, about 600. Minnesota, you're looking at about 300 people that came to your site. So overall, we got some pretty decent traction outside of state. And I know Crystal even going through some of the Kearney numbers was that Texas kind of jumped up. I think on your guys as well. There's a lot of interest on that front, and some of it is targeted, and some of it's organic as well. So I thought that was kind of interesting to be able to see. For this campaign, we will put together kind of what we call a pretty report. And Crystal, you've seen this. We've done it for you guys. But it's basically like a PDF that will give you screenshots of the best performing ads. It's a PDF that will break down the entire campaign, taking a look at here's the spend, here's the cost, here's the amount of clicks that we had, all the details. Like I said, along with the best creative, how that performed, and potentially even if there's an organic lift, kind of a viral lift that helped with that, as in people liking, commenting, sharing, that type of stuff. But we'll pull together that final report and ship it your way as well. So that way you got that for your documents.
Okay.
Is there anything else or any other questions you may have?
Yeah. So Kearney's leads are substantially lower than Harlan and McCook.
It surprised me. I'm glad you brought that up, Crystal. I was like, wow, that's shocking.
So, obviously we do a Crane campaign separately with you from this. So, I mean, does that kind of make up for, the loss here or?
To a certain extent, but it was interesting because going into it, making assumptions, is that I assumed that Kearney would be towards the top of this, or at the very top of this. And there's two different ways that we there are like three ways that we, optimize the campaign. One is just overall reach to be able to see, like, all right, what are people actually reacting to? Once we figure out what people are reacting to, then we're able to optimize inside those campaigns. And then, and Crystal, you can see the screen and I'll highlight it, but the last part is we can start optimizing for the leads themselves. Basically, what that means is we're willing to spend more money for, or more on the cost per click side of it, as long as we're getting more and more leads in. So at the end, the last, 40 days or so roughly, is we optimize all campaigns for the audience to get cheaper leads for Kearney, for Harlan, and for McCook. So it picked up a little bit, especially kind of cost per lead, if you will, for Kearney, dropped a little bit during that time. But again, I was surprised that you guys didn't get as many leads as as the other two parties that were really kind of involved with it. With that being said, is you guys were pretty aggressive on social media as well, Facebook ads, Google, and all that type of stuff. Are really kind of pushing leads or pushing the Crane traffic. So maybe it's one of those things that they saw one of the ads and ended up clicking on the one that was associated with Kearney from the get-go. So there is some overlap on that front. But I would agree. I would agree that going into it, I have assumptions, and what happens when you assume things.
Yeah.
I just did a little test of just Googling things, and I put in Nebraska cranes, and it goes straight to Kearney's site, not to the Trifecta. And then I put in Nebraska birding, and it has results from Audubon. And then I put in Nebraska spring birding on Google, and then the Trifecta thing showed up. So I wonder if when people are looking for things about the cranes, which are much more famous than our other things, they are maybe Googling and they're going straight to the Kearney site, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
And I don't recall, Crystal, in the report that we sent to you guys, did we make comparisons to organic traffic this year versus last year? I think we might have.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. So a lot of times when we take a look at that organic, it is people that find out about you through Facebook or Google Ads or whatever, that do go back to Google and then be able to try to find out more information. And if I remember correctly, is that Kearney had a nice boost on that organic side of it like this. So yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Perfect.
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay. Like I said, I'll follow up and we'll put together this total campaign report and email it out to everybody, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody. See ya.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.